Hey, Taylor Rapp here from the LA Rams. Shout out to Steve Taylor, the real sports guy, and the honorary Ram. When Steve's talk sports, you better listen. Thanks, Steve from the Rams, for your continued support and love. We are taking it all the way this year, but you already know that. Go Rams.
With Prince Bell, we rocking real, keeping it real sports, and we gonna be on these. We gonna be on a lot of times. I love the platform. Check in, it's the new wave. Like, follow, subscribe, and do all that good stuff.
Come on. Told you I got you. Wanna talk about his game, he can talk about it. Tennis, match, golf, he can talk about it. Don't matter what it is, he can talk about it. Any sport dude, he know about it. Say your boy bum, don't doubt it. If he tell you that it is what it is. The real sports guy in the Sandman. Talk show game in the bag, man. Rep, gon' have to throw the flag, man. Steve Taylor, Andy Sands. It's over, OVA. Game over, they don't play. From the fourth quarter to the ninth inning. NASCAR wheels keep spinning. To the 18th hole, he's still in control. Guy on the go. Coach never missing the play, cause he know the deal. This keeping it real. Sports. Come on. Keeping it real. Yeah. Let's go.
Oh, it is another wild card weekend here. I can't wait to get to it. It's me, your boy, the real sports guy, Steve Taylor. Sandman right there, Sandman. We got a big show for him. NFL, check. We got Between the Circles. You gonna drop that stuff live, give the updates on what's going on. We got the NBA team of the week, and of course, we'd be remiss if I didn't give you the Fab Five from the BDI. What's going on, my brother? How you doing?
Steve, I'm doing great. We got a great show today, lots to get to. Let's just get right into it, man. It's hot off the press.
Man, see, you just want you don't even want to say hi to a brother, man.
I said hello.
At least greet me. Say what's going on, bro.
I did that a half hour ago. Let's go, man. We got a show to get to. All right, Steve Taylor, how do you not talk about the Australian Open hot off the press, right? I mean, I know that there's a big time difference in everything, and it's hard to watch the matches, but you and I have been keeping track of these matches, right? And we have the updates for everybody. But the thing that most people don't know about is that the players are not happy right now with how the tournament has gone so far in terms of the schedule and in terms of the types of balls that are being used out in Australia. They're saying they're a lot more fluffy, they're not as hard, so they're not hitting the court and driving off the court as much as they should, and so they're longer matches. Andy Murray, a perfect example. He had 2 5-setters and a 4-setter before he bowed out of the tournament last night.
Yeah, bowed out, man. He didn't bow out. He was not granted a bathroom break. How can you not grant the man a restroom break? He was fighting that demon as well as the demon across the net from him, man. That's not right. Come on, Australia. You're better than that, man. Hey, look, you need to treat us better than this. You know what this should be called? It should be called the Upset Open, because that's all that's been happening. They've been dropping like flies. All of the top seeds gone. And can somebody please explain to me how in the hell Djokovic is ranked number 4?
Yeah. Well, we talked about the fact that he and Nadal could have matched up in the final, right? Well, unfortunately, the injury bug has hit Rafael Nadal once again. He goes out in the second round earlier this week due to a hip injury. And speaking of injuries, Steve, Australian's own Nick Kyrgios doesn't even get to play in the tournament. He had to pull out because of a knee injury. It just really disappointed that happened, because I was excited to see him carry that momentum from the U.S. Open into the Australian Open as well. But you talked about the upsets. How about this? Both number 2s for the men and the women end up dropping this week as well. But the Americans are the story of the tournament, Steve. Four Americans into the 4th round for the first time since 2004.
Yeah, but the top-rated American male is out like a scout on a new route. You know, man. I mean, and we're starting to see this. TFO out like a scout on a new route. The only thing that's keeping us going is Coco Golf. Let's go, Coco.
Yeah, she's got a real good chance, Steve. She really does. So that'll do it for Hot Off the Press and the Australian Open update. But we're not done. We're far from done, right?
Oh, by the way.
All right, Steve, what do you got for us this week?
Well, when we got to start, man, in the Big Ten, man, because this guy is coming back, man. He's back, man. Jim Harbaugh, back at Michigan, man. He sniffed at the NFL, but he announced he's going to come back. But it doesn't come at a cost because Michigan fires Jim Weiss. Why? Well, they won't say. He did something. Well, what did he do? Well, we don't know. But he did something enough to get his ass fired. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just keeping it real like I always do.
Yeah, it has something to do with the computer. That's not something to mess around with. It was a good decision by Michigan to fire him. First, they put him on administrative leave, and then when that came out, and the police started getting involved.
What did he do? I want to know what he did. Don't tell me that it was about something. Tell me what he did.
I'm telling you what it is. He had inappropriate content on his computer. Okay? Let's just keep it at that for right now. We don't need to get into specifics. But you know what we do need to get into? Who's the number one quarterback in this draft? Because C.J. Stroud finally announced that he's ready to go play in the NFL.
I don't know. Some people like Bryce. Some people like C.J. Some people like Will Levis. I don't know where the hell those people are at. I would like Will Levis. But, it is what it is.
All right, Steve, I'm going to put you on the spot. You're the Houston Texans. You've got the number one pick, right? Well, you should have had the number one pick, but you're going to end up picking a quarterback because Chicago's taking Carter from Georgia because they need that more than they need quarterback.
Are they? See, because you don't know that. See, the whole thing is Chicago, man, holds the whole, man. They hold the ace in this because they don't need a quarterback. They got one.
All right, well, maybe they trade the pick. We don't know, right?
And that's what they're probably going to do.
Okay, so let's say Houston ends up getting that pick as far as a quarterback goes. Are you taking C.J. Stroud or are you taking Bryce Young? And by the way, Houston hired a black general manager. You saw that, right?
I don't give a damn, man. I want winners. I don't give a damn what color they are. I don't care, you know.
Well, that's been an issue for them.
But what's been an issue is firing black head coaches after 1 year hiring them. That's been a damn issue. You want to talk about an issue? Yeah. That's it. Yeah. You know, if I'm an African-American coach, I don't want to go there to coach because I'm only going to be there a year.
All right, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, who you got?
CJ. Come on, man.
All right, there you go.
Gotta go C.J.
You know what we have to do now? It's time to go.
Yeah, I know, man. You know, man, put you to work, man. You need to get to work.
Put me to work. Come on, let's go. Come on, put me to work. All right, normally these things are recorded, but we had an audio issue. So we're going to do this on the fly. Let's see how good I can pull it off, right? All right, let's start with the Boston Bruins. They are the best team in the NHL for a reason, and there's actually two reasons. It's these guys, Jeremy Swayman and Linus Ullmark. They are the only goalie tandem in the league that have allowed less than 100 goals at this point in the season. Steve, the Bruins are 36-5-4, 8-1-1 in their last 10. They have 76 points. Nobody's touching them right now in the East. But you know what that means. That means they win the President's Trophy, which normally means they don't win the Stanley Cup. All right, keeping it in the Eastern Conference, let's talk about this guy, Steven Stamkos. What an amazing career he's had, 2 Stanley Cups. He scores a hat trick the same night as he scored his 500th goal. Congratulations to him. Now, we talk about tanking a lot, right, in other sports, in the NBA, maybe even in the NFL, where you're going to see it this year in the NHL without the NHL trying to figure out that that's what's happening. And here's why. He's the next Connor McDavid. His name is also Connor. It's Connor Bedard. He's a right-handed player as opposed to McDavid being a left-handed player. But look at these numbers. In the last 10 games, 17 goals, 22 assists, 39 points, and he's averaging almost 7 shots on goal per game, and he helped Canada win a World Junior Championship. This kid is for real. All right, and I have to, before we go, I have to be a little bit of a homer here. Okay, everybody knows how much I love the Buffalo Sabres. It's been a rough 10, maybe even 15 years. But during the course of that time, I got to witness a great franchise player in Ryan Miller. And the Sabres acknowledged that on Thursday night by retiring his jersey up to the rafters. Number 30, thank you for everything, Millsy. You're the best. You're in the Sabres Hall of Fame. You deserve to be in the NHL Hall of Fame someday because of everything you did for Buffalo and also what you did for Team USA back in the 2010 Olympics. All right, partner, there you have it. That's Between the Circles.
Not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. But you know we got to do now, right?
Oh, yes.
You
Let's
know,
get to it.
NFL storylines. Let's do it.
We're actually going to start in Cleveland, right?
Okay.
And here's why.
Homer.
They did something right, and you even admitted it, okay? Finally. They hired the right guy as the defensive coordinator. Steve, I really like the marriage of him and what he's going to do with Myles Garrett. I think this is the perfect hire for the Cleveland Browns. And the other reason I like this is because if Kevin Stefanski doesn't give up play calling and cost himself his own job again this year, you have a guy in Jim Schwartz that's been a head coach that can step in and get it done.
Well, man, I tell you, man, who's not getting it done is the Baltimore Ravens, man. We don't know what the hell are they doing, man, with Lamar Jackson, man. Man, reports have come in that they offered him as low as $113 million guaranteed. Are you serious? So, man, with that being said, what's the best fit for Lamar Jackson? Is it the Jets? Is it the Ravens? How about the Dolphins, man, who is a quarterback away? Playing the team, the dark horse is coming in. The Atlanta Falcons. What's the best fit for Lamar?
Who do you think is the best fit?
Jets, Jets, baby. That's
I agree.
Ready-made.
I agree. I think that's the perfect fit for him. Because I think Miami's going to end up with either Tua again or possibly Tom Brady. All right. Enough of those guys. So, let's talk about the teams that matter. Okay.
Before we look ahead, let's look back at what happened last weekend.
All right, let's do that.
Andy, I hate to be the guy that told you so, but I told you so. And let's go to Jacksonville, where it happened on Saturday night. Wait a minute. What happened? Well, my brother Andy shot me a text message in the first half when Trevor Lawrence, Sunshine, threw 4 INTs. When my brother said, he ain't arrived, Steve. I said, give him a break, Andy. It ain't his fault. Give him a break. And my dude comes and throws 4 second half TDs, 4 tubs. I told you, man, that Justin Herbert wasn't ready. I told you that Sunshine was ready.
Wait. No, I'm not going to let you do that. This had nothing to do with Justin Herbert, okay?
What?
This had everything to do with the San Diego Chargers defense giving up what they gave up in the second half. Justin Herbert did not lose this game. I'm not letting you go there. No, you're not going there. That's not happening.
What I'm going, and here's where I got you. Because look here, he threw 4 first half tees. They should have run them out of the stadium. Everything that the Chargers got that night, the Jaguars gave them. Justin Herbert didn't generate any offense on his own. That's what I'm telling you. That day, that was the better quarterback, hands down. Sunshine.
Yeah, okay. He was the better quarterback, but Herbert's not the reason they're not moving on. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man, if you get a first, come on, man. No. You got to generate some kind of offense.
You got to stop the guys trying to score. You have
if you get first downs,
you have a 27
you're not going to have
lead.
the ball.
You have a 27-point lead.
If they were up 27 to nothing, 31
I know that.
27 to nothing.
Exactly.
Dude, 27 to nothing.
You can't give up 31 points when you're up 27 to nothing, Steve, and you know that. Next game.
Andy, and you're right, but you still can't. You can't score 3 points in the second half.
I agree with you on that, but that's not all Justin Herbert. That's play calling, and that's why Brandon Staley shouldn't have a job right now. All right.
So let's go to the other one.
Let's go to the other one.
Danny Dimes. Who saw that one coming?
Not a lot of people. I know that. You know, you got to give him credit, Steve. He played exceptionally well. And other than the last throw of the game, Kirk Cousins actually played exceptionally well as well. I don't know what he was thinking not throwing to the first down marker. But you got to give the Giants credit. They came in with the game plan. And once again, they exploited a weak Minnesota defense that, to your credit, you called out last week. Even though we both picked the Vikings, you said that their defense could cost them their season. And
we never really picked that game. Neither one of us really picked that game. You kind of felt the Vikings. To me, I thought it was a pick 'em. It was a 50-50 game. I knew the Giants. I said the Giants would be in this game. They weren't to beat themselves. The one thing that I had faith in was Brian Daboll. And I said that time and time again. I got trust in him, man. Brian Daboll over Kevin O'Connell. I've seen Daboll be there and do that before. The rings and things that they sing about, he can bring them out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's got the experience, and there's a reason he was the most sought-after coordinator to become a head coach, and the Giants happen to win.
Reason why the Buffalo Bills, man, look like they look, man, now. You know, I'm just saying, they ain't as buttoned up as they were, man. They're not as buttoned up.
All right, well, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills, and let's talk about the teams that are now playing this weekend. Here we go. This is the updated bracket. You got today's games will feature Jacksonville again on a Saturday, Steve. Maybe it's their lucky day, right? They go to Kansas City to take on Mahomes, your boy, and the Chiefs. It's a 4:30 game. I think that makes a little bit of a difference. Then later tonight, it's the Giants again, and they'll take on the Eagles. Tomorrow afternoon, you've got the Bengals going to Buffalo, and then you've got the Cowboys going to San Francisco. All right, I'm going to ask you, just like I did last week, let's take a look at all four of these games, and let's talk about the confidence meter we have for each team. Let's start with today's game, the 4:30 matchup between the Jaguars and the Kansas City Chiefs. Steve, the Chiefs are favored by 9 in a playoff game?
Man.
I think that's a little high, but at the same time, they have a better defense. They have a quarterback that can generate offense. I understand where they're coming from with the spread. Confidence meter in the Jaguars in Kansas City. Let's start with Jacksonville first. I'm going to say it's a little bit on the lighter green side for me. I just don't think they can do it 2 weeks in a row. And having to go to Kansas City to get it done, that's a tough ask. So I'm going to put them in the light green for me as far as the confidence level. How about you?
Well, I'm going to keep it right where it's at, man, smack dab in the middle, because, man, I do believe in sunshine, man. They're a better team than they were, man, 6 weeks ago when these two teams played. Remember, Jacksonville forced 3 turnovers that day, okay? Mm-hmm. They just couldn't get over the hump, man. They believe in themselves now, man. This offense has an identity. They understand what they can and what they can't do. And the bottom line is they have a freaking gunslinger, man, back there, man, throwing it, man. Yep. So, man, you know, I tell you, I'll take the 9. I'll tell you that. I'll take the 9.
Okay, so you'll take Jacksonville to cover.
Yeah.
All right. Now, confidence level in Kansas City, it's all the way to the front edge of the red for me. I don't know who to pick in the AFC this year between Kansas City, Buffalo, and Cincinnati. Obviously, whoever wins the other game, that'll make a big difference, right? But Kansas City does have home field. I think that's going to help them down the long run. They want to get back to the Super Bowl. I think they win this game today. It may be closer than you think, but I think they find a way to win at home.
Okay. So that brings us to Cincinnati, Buffalo. You know, and personally, I think this is BS, man. This game should be at a neutral field because
I agree.
That game that was played a couple weeks ago that was suspended, Cincinnati was leading that game and was getting ready to go up 14-3 at that point. How they are 5.5 point underdogs is ass of 9, ass of 10, ass of 11. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
I tell you, give me Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati outright, but you're going to give me 5.5. I love it.
Confidence level in the Bengals, I would say I'll put it in the orange for me. This is a really good football team. However, Steve, they're missing their right guard. That's a big blow to that offensive line. So that could end up being a factor in this game. And, of course, you got to talk about the weather. I know both teams are in cold cities, but for some reason, if the weather plays a factor, that seems to favor the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to pick Buffalo to win the game. I don't think that they cover the 5.5, but I'll take Buffalo to win the game.
You know, people make a big deal out of the offensive line woes of Cincinnati. Hell, they had them all last year, and they went to the damn Super Bowl and almost won it. So I'm not worried about that.
I get it. Plus, you know me, I can't pick the Bengals. I can't do it. So, all right,
real quick. Let's get to the NFC.
NFC, yep. Let's start with. I want to flip this because I want to start with tonight's game. Let's start with the Giants and the Eagles. 7.5 for a team you've got to play 3 times. That's a pretty big spread, Steve Taylor.
Yeah, Giants playing well, but I tell you what, man, the one thing that the Giants did, even though Danny Dimes, man, had a 300-yard passing attack, the 2 biggest passing days that the New York Giants had this year consequently came against the Minnesota Vikings, whose defensive coordinator, Ed Donatell, got fired yesterday. Okay, you get where I'm going with this. Okay, what they're not going to see is those little hitch routes in the field. Man, that's crazy. That's going to be buttoned up, man, by the secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles. I like Philadelphia to win. They may not cover, but I like them to win.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Eagles are just too talented. Jalen Hurts had another week to heal up. That wide receiving core is without question the most dangerous in the NFL. There's a reason they have home field. There's a reason they've beaten the Giants twice already this year. I think they make it a trifecta. Give me Philadelphia in this game as well. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, who I picked, thank you very much, to beat Tampa Bay for the first time in Tom Brady's career in a playoff game, will travel to San Francisco, but that's where I stopped picking the Cowboys because I picked the Niners to go to the Super Bowl. Obviously, for that to happen, they have to win this game. And Brock Purdy just doesn't flinch, Steve Taylor. There's something about him. He's got the moxie. He's got the confidence. He's got the belief from his head coach. I think San Francisco wins the game, but I don't know if they're going to cover. I think it'll be a closer game than 4. Give me the Niners to win it.
Dallas is playing well, man, but the one thing that gives me cause to pause about Dallas is Dak Prescott. Dak played a very clean game last week. We know I've turned Dak, give it back Dak, because Dak will give it back. He'll get the ball right back. They played a clean game. They can't afford to play a messy game against the 49ers, or it will get just like that. It will get messy. Give me the Niners. I got high faith in the Niners.
All right, so our potential matchups here, I have Kansas City and Buffalo. You have Cincinnati and Kansas City. And then we both have the Eagles against the 49ers.
Yep.
And let's see if we get it right going into the NFC Championship next week. All right, so that's going to do it for the football portion of the show. Let's talk some NBA and let's get into some basketball here, my friend.
Yeah, I guess we should. NBA update.
All right, let's start on the WNBA side of things first, Steve, and there's a reason for that, and it's one of the greatest ever, has decided she's finally going to hang up her sneakers. Maya Moore retires from basketball. She won 2 championships, I believe, with Minnesota, a couple of gold medals as well. Just an all-around terrific human being and an outstanding basketball player, well on her way to the Hall of Fame.
Yep. And that brings us to our team of the week, which was tight, man, because we had a couple teams to choose from. Memphis was our team of the week last week. They lost. They were on an 11-game winning streak, and they lost last night by 1. But our team of the week, we went with the Denver Nuggets, man. And, man, I tell you, the Joker, he ain't no joke, man. And now he's got help. Man, we could be out west, man, playing the Mile High City, man.
You gotta bring his name back into the MVP conversation again, Steve. You have to. The way he's played, the way he's made his teammates better, that's what an MVP does. He's already won, 2 of them? He could win a 3rd. I mean, he's playing outstanding basketball, and because of that, it's correlating to his teammates playing outstanding basketball. And can we talk about Mike Malone and what a great coach he is? He's been there for 8 years, Steve, and they've been the talk of the West for all 8 years.
Look, but when we talk about MVPs, we got to talk no farther than LeBron James. Damn, he's 38 years old and he's averaging, 38 points a game this past? I mean, come on, man. LeBron's chasing history, man. He's running it down, man. He's like 250 points away, man, from catching up Kareem.
Yeah, I think he will ultimately catch Kareem, and that's a major accomplishment. But to put him in the MVP conversation, I think the Lakers have to make the playoffs for that to be considered.
I'm just saying he's playing at the MVP level.
He is. And that's one of the reasons why the rumors around here are that the Cavs might give up some of their younger talent to bring him back over here for one more run.
You might want to win. If you want to win, you better put Booby in. If you want to win, you better put Booby in.
Yeah, well, hey, that worked once, right? So. All right, let's stay with the hoops, and let's go to the college side of things. Joe Smith seems to be a big fan of LeBron. There you go. Listen, I'm forever grateful that I have a championship banner right next to me here in this room, okay? Trust me, I'm forever grateful for that. But let's try to do without it. That's all I'm saying, okay? All right, let's go to the top 5.
All right, man.
All right.
So the BDI.
Yes. Let's get to the BDI because we're running out of show. All right, we got some movement in the BDI this week.
Yes,
let's start
we do,
with
man.
number 5. Welcome back to the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Even though they lost twice this week, Steve, it's not about this week. It's about overall, and it's about being one of the 5 best teams in the country that nobody wants to play right now.
When somebody heaves in a basket at the gun to beat you and break a 76-game winning streak, man, I am not concerned about that. I know that Gonzaga has traveled across the country and played the best teams in this land, and their losses have come to teams like Alabama. Okay, I don't have a problem with Gonzaga. I like the way this young team is coming around. Drew Timme and company, they're coming around. Yes, Gonzaga, 5.
All right, still in the top 5, but we move them down from 2 to 4 this week because they lost to Kansas State in a rivalry game on Tuesday night. But the Kansas Jayhawks are still one of the 5 best teams. But, Steve, they always seem to have trouble in that game. If you look at the history of that game and the course of the successes they've had, they lose that game. In years, they win national championships.
Again, a rivalry game. Again, a buzzer beater. Again, a one-point affair. Am I going to punish them? No, I'm not. Because my BDI tells me they're one of the top 4 teams in the country.
And we've had them as the best team in the Big Ten all year. That continues to be the case. Purdue stays at number 3. They got a scare from Michigan State, but they found a way to win that game, Steve. And you and I agree, the Big Ten is the deepest conference in college basketball. It's not even close. But these guys are the cream of the crop, and they remain that way at number 3.
I mean, again, they continue to get everybody's best shot, and they continue to survive, okay? They only lost was a one-point affair earlier in the season against the Big Ten. So can you punish them? No. Purdue is one of the top 3 teams in this nation.
Alabama just keeps rolling on. Steve Miller, Player of the Year. It's looking more and more like that's going to be the case.
Man, how do you find freshmen like that? I mean, this dude has the entire game. He can stop on a dime, stop it, drop it like it's hot. Man, this dude has the entire game. And if you get up on him, he'll go by you and he'll flush it. Man, Brandon Miller, the real deal.
And what's not to like about this team, right? I mean, every week except one, they've been at the top. And Steve, you kind of have to feel like if they get in a favorable bracket, they might be the one team you can just push all the way to the Final Four the way they've been playing.
That's good. They'll probably be in that Southwest bracket, man. Here's a team that's going to come at you and wait. Sasser, again, pouring it on. He had a team lead 27 points the other night. Man, I mean, this team just continues to come at you in waves. I love the Houston Cougars, man, and they well coached by Kelvin Sampson.
All right, so that's a look at the top 5, the BDI. We had a full show, but before we go, Steve, we got one last thing for you, right? I couldn't believe that I saw this week, so I had to talk about it. Dana White started another professional fighting league in Las Vegas. It's called the Power Slap League, okay? He also now has a reality show on TBS Thursday nights at 10 o'clock, or Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock, where you get to follow these guys' journey into trying to become one of the guys that he selects for the pay-per-view And then he's got the two best fighters in the world, in his opinion, as the coaches to teach these guys. And then the two best fighters are going to fight for a pay-per-view for this. It's the Slap Championship belt. Steve Taylor. People are now going to slap the crap out of each other in the face for a living, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it's ironic that he would come up with that. I wanted to come up with an idea from this New Year's Eve when he slapped his wife. You know, when he won that slap affair. Maybe he should wear the belt first. Maybe we ought to give it to him. You know?
Yeah.
Slap artist.
Well, that's why I was surprised that the show ended up airing on TV. But I guess ratings will outwin ethics, right?
If it makes dollars, it makes sense.
Yeah. You know what makes sense? That's 69 in the books, my friend.
Dang, man, that's it, man. Man, I tell you, man, it's been fun, but we got to run.
So until next time, we wish you love
and peace. Deuces.